Doctors. I mean, this is just an all-time classic. Again, another Peter Angeli story, right? Really, really good. Again, I haven't listened to it for years, but I just remember it being very good. And there's this one as well. So if you haven't tried Big Finish, all these are worth going for. I mean, these are all really good pucker stories. Let's have a quick look at if there's any sales I could recommend. Scary Files never really got into it. So let's have a look at the Mark Gatiss sale. I bet there's some good stuff there. He's in. Oh no, it isn't. I would say no to all of these things. Wow, they marked down Dracula's War from $32 to $13. Well, that's not a sign it's doing well now, is it? Look, the first Dracula adaptation wasn't bad. I just didn't listen to the rest. Full Doctor Event of Metamorphosis, I don't remember him being in that. Dalek Universe, don't even bother. Out of Time, $10, not really worth it. Okay, Phantasmagoria. Okay, these ones for $1.95. Holy shit, this is good. Mutant Faith, great Dalek story, right? This is season 1 of Paul McGann. All these ones for $1.95. Oh, Invaders from Mars is a great story. Stones of Venice is a great story. And Sword of Orion is a great story. Nightshade, $99.77. I think it's a bit too pricey. Masterful, $40. Again, Sapphire Still. Look, you get a full season for like $25, $30. Not bad at all. And the creme de la creme of this stuff. It has to be Invaders from Mars. Excellent story. Stones of Venice, I love. I absolutely love that story. And it so fits into the Eighth Doctor's persona, which is kind of a nice introduction, right, to what we're going to talk. Let's go. Let's look at the. Do they have a monthly adventures? Sword of Orion. Storm Warning, right? There we go. It's a promo one. So again, this I think by setting the first story in this era, in that in this very turn of the century kind of steampunky thing, I think that it really kind of set up what this era was. But yeah, so this was in January 2001 that they first became Doctor Companion, and they've been excellent. I have to tell you, a really strong Doctor Companion teaming up. I think they're in this one as well, right? Really good. And now they're back, right? We're back on stage. I just think this is such a great idea, right? I keep raving about it, but I thought it was a good idea when I first heard about it, and the more I hit, and then when I saw the execution of it, I thought it was lovely, right? I just thought it was lovely. Again, India Fisher, God bless her, does look a bit like his nan now. I mean, here, just to remind you from the from the thumbnail, right? This is India Fisher as I think she would have been in her prime, right? I think this, but now that was a long time ago, and she was never this fit. Right? I think if she was going to be on TV, she probably could have pulled something like this off, right? But I said now, as I said, she looks a bit more like Paul McGann's nan. But the performance is great, right? She still sounds it sounds right. So I didn't realize they did a big long interview with them at the when they were doing this Stuff a Legend, right? So it's a Doctor companion pairing that I've always loved. Let's see what they have to say. Legends in their own lifetime. Talk to Tom Spilsbury. Takes center stage as Big Finish goes live. They tell Tom Spilsbury it's what you want from Doctor Who. Yes, right. This is the noticeable difference between this and the current era Doctor Who. It's what you want from Doctor Who, and that's what I got from my, very incomplete listening to of Stuff a Legend. right? It's trying to give you what you want, right? Not what Russell T Davies wants, right? Not like relentless queer stories. It's trying to give the most amount of people what they want. There's something unique about a live performance. I agree. Oh, wait, come back. I agree. And although Doctor Who has never been transmitted live on television, there have been a few times in its history where it's been performed on stage, even though it's rare for one of the TV Doctors to actually star in one of these productions. Well, in the 80s, they're John Pertwee and Colin Baker. And the Big Finish adaptations of the stage plays are actually pretty darn good. To tell you, I mean, especially the Ultimate Adventure, you really get a feeling of what it was like. Sunday, 15th of September 2024, so not that long ago. And this weekend is a rather special one, as the Doctor is going live with a brand new adventure, The Stuff of Legend, starring 8th Doctor Paul McGann. Cadogan Hall in London, where it's all taking place. Modern-sized venue with an audience capacity of just under 1,000. I'm telling you, I think they could do bigger, right? I really do. I think they could really do well with these things. But this is a good thing. An opportunity to get close to a live Doctor Who adventure being performed right in front of us. This feels intimate. See, okay, this is, I think, similar to, if you ever go and see Barnum and Bailey's Circus or the Harlem Globetrotters, they put on a great show, both of them. We took our kids to see them when they were in Israel, in Tel Aviv. In the Harlem Globetrotters, when they were doing the patter, they get to, here we are in Tel Aviv. It became a family name, Tel Aviv. But yeah, beforehand, it's with the circus as well. You get there, all the clowns and the animals are there for you to talk to and interact with. It's really great, right? It's fan-freaking-tastic. Same with the Harlem Globetrotters. They're like clowning around with the balls. But no, it's a really interactive, experience. Jagan Lightfoot, I highly recommend if it's on the list. Sadly not, but Jagan Lightfoot's fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Up to doink. Unlike other Who-related productions down the years, this is the full theatrical production. It's a live reading of a Big Finish production. Brilliant idea. I mean, it really is so. I mean, great idea. I remember I saw last year Colin Baker doing this with Sherlock Holmes. I was like, well, that's clever. It didn't even occur to me to Doctor Who, right? Please release a video of this Big Finish, right? Please release a video. Paul's joined by India Fisher, who reprises the roles of Edwardian companion Charlie Pollard, and the pair recorded their first audio and songwriting together in 2001. Storm Warning, we talked about that before. And the years are falling away tonight. On one side of the stage stands the TARDIS. It's in its regular police box form. On the other side, it's a silver Dalek surveys the audience. Again, this is way better than I thought it would be, right? I'm really quite impressed with all of this. As they file in to take their seats, I assume their seats. And in between the two, we can see the TARDIS control room in its 80s configuration, 8 microphones stand in front of the stage, ready for performance to begin reading. Right? One of the reasons I was impressed with this, right, and again, I wasn't there, I want to be clear, is because I would have been happy with less, right? Which means they went to effort and they had pride and they cared about this, right? And it shows, right? I'm really kind of chuffed with this. Director Barnum introduces the cast one by one. There's a huge roar from the audience as Paul McGann and India Fisher finally take the stage. This is going to be something very special. Also, they had Alex McQueen as the master. I love Alex McQueen's master. Of course, Nick Briggs as Daleks. And this just sounds like so much fun. Wouldn't this be great to as a Panto replacement? It sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I would love them to do a live read. This is the plan. You have Stephen Noonan, Michael Troughton, and Tim Troy. If Michael Troughton won't do it, get Fraser Hines, right? And you do a Christmassy story in 3 parts covering those first 3 Doctors. So you get each of those Doctors get a kind of like Christmas special for Panto. Man, that'll be so much fun. Okay. Oh, I want that. So rewind 3 days September. DJ Room is visiting London's Danceworks studios, where the cast and crew of Stuff Legends are rehearsing their weekend performance. In the next door, auditions are taking place to recruit dancers for Disney's cruise line newest ship, Disney Adventure. Only Disney can tell the stories in a new, exciting way. Boasts the online advert for auditions. Big Finish may beg to differ. Well, don't beg to differ. The Disney will stomp on your hands, mate. Paul and India are chatting to us about the Stuff of Legend and Doctor Who generally. So let's start with from the beginning. Can the pair remember what their first meeting was before they recorded together? So, well, if I'm totally honest, I was absolutely starstruck amidst India. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, you, says Paul, with the end of the I really recommend, by the way, mostly for the Paul McGann interview, the Who and Me. With it was Matthew Jacobs' intersection with Doctor Who fandom, and Paul McGann is just such a fascinating guy to interview. Like it sounds like a really decent chat. I mean, a bit weird because he's an actor, but what can you do? Yeah, I've said this to you before. I was a massive Wendell and I fan. Yeah, because you're so posh. Right, continues India, referring to the cult movie and Paul McGann film with Richard E. Grant in '86. Long before either of the stars had anything to do with Doctor Who. Well, yeah, but we both knew that Richard E. Grant would be Doctor Who. We didn't see that from Paul McGann, and he is just a great Doctor Who. I remember getting a call from Big Finish executive producer Jason Ellery. Says, "Do you want to be Paul McGann's companion?" I say, "Yes, I do. Totally, of course." Well, he never gave that away. Oh, absolutely. Continues India. I was come back. I was totally starstruck when I walked into the door. All right, when I walked in the door, and I kept inadvertently quoting lines from Wendell and I. That's embarrassing. And I had to stop myself because I felt slightly fangirling. Okay. All this seems news support. Well, again, he just comes over very gracious normally. I wasn't fierce or anything, was I? He asked cautiously. No, you weren't fierce at all. You were lovely. And again, that's really what his doctor comes over as, like a kind of like cuddly teddy bear adventure in time and space. Fierce at all. And I think instantly clicked. It felt good. They did instantly click, right? Their chemistry was great, right? I suppose you've ever done the chemistry test with Big Finish as Paul. They just put you together. This is who you're with. Mostly it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Right? India had a small role in early Big Finish. They went for the depth. Peter Davis one, I should say. I played a little part in that, which is when they decided I might be good for Charlie. But neither had done a lot of radio as Paul, so we were kind of looking after each other a little bit. Again, this is just like so nice to hear actors be gracious, right? So they were, so we were kind of looking after each other a bit. So yes, it agrees, India, and it was a great script. Storm Warning, it was a great script, right? It really is. Who wrote that? Let's have a look. Written by. No, it's over here. Alan Barnes. Alan Barnes is a solid writer. And I saw, what's his name, animated it recently. Dino Puff guy. Can I find that? Hang on. It must be in my history because I downloaded it recently. History. What's it? 8th Doctor, maybe? 8th Doctor. See what comes up. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, this is from Minuet in Hell. But, man, it kills, like, why can't they, like, if Big Finish, Big Finish and Cardiff should really work out a deal to do more stuff like this. Here, one second.
The Doctor!
And what is the Doctor? Can you tell me that? A bicardial biped of Gallifrey, a spatio-temporal rolling stone who's had more faces than a dog has had fleas, a wide-eyed idealist who renounced his Time Lord heritage centuries ago out of some...
Okay, I like Nick Briggs, but can we get to the Doctor?
Misplaced revolutionary fervour, and has never since had the maturity
Wait, how do you know that, Gideon? I've never told that to anybody.
Charlie, Sam, Ace, Evelyn, Nissa, Romana, Sarah Jane, Jamie, Polly, Ian, Barbara, and Susan.
All spankable, baby.
Dear Susan.
How do you know all this?
I know everything there is to know about these men.
Yeah, I mean, again, free content, as far as I can see. It's crazy that they're not hiring him. That's what they hit the ground running. I instantly knew who Charlie was. I didn't go, oh, hang on, what would she be like? No, again, very clearly sketched out characters who knew pretty much everything about them without any exposition. It was just like deftly told to you, right? Very, with a few lines of dialogue. It really, really worked. I think the writer Alan Bars did an amazing job for that, and it set the tone for the next 25 years. I completely agree. Right? How much is it again? It's worth your $3.90, right? It really is worth your your $3.90. How many pages is this? Oh, we got quite a route march to go. Let's have a look. We got off a good start at Grease Pool. Cheers, Adam. It really was a great first story. Despite the passing of the years, the pair have clear memories of the early their early audio adventures. Again, 23 years ago now. Since then, they've recorded a vast number of Doctor Who stories. Do they all stick in mind? No. I must have done 300 or 400 estimates, Paul. Man, I have no idea how many he's done. But I'm kind of attached to the early ones. Storm Warning Expedition, Sharda. Oh, I love his Sharda. Which you weren't in, were you? But there's a sentimental attachment to some of them. I remember a few of them. Chimes of Midnight says in your Chimes of Midnight. That, okay, as a billionaire, I would be paying that Dino Puff guy to do the whole Chimes of Midnight. And that, what a wonderful Christmas. That really creepy by Robert Shearman. I think it would just be gorgeous. That was a great one. They're just great stories. Are even them tempted to listen to their old audios to wallow in nostalgia? Well, I do. I'm not going to listen to myself. No, Messenger. I can't really do it. Really, I just always think, oh God, when did I do? Why did I do it like that? It all kind of worked, really. It's like Googling yourself, isn't it? Agrees Paul. I can hear him say that. That way, like madness, like I Google myself all the time. But nowadays, I've done lots of other voice work, not just a Big Finish. So I've just got used to hearing my own voice over decades. He does have a good voice for commercials, doesn't he? And I think with the Doctor Who stuff, we just slipped straight into it, don't we? There was a point where there was a 2 or 3 year gap. It felt like a very long time, but we're back into the rhythm of it. And there's been ups and downs. I mean, it's a real shame the Paul McGann range is a Doctor Who right now. The big thing, I just lost and directionless and not very good, frankly. Oh, the Audacity stuff is awful. I mean, just awful. Back in the early 2000s, when Paul and Ninja were recording their earliest audios, they were effectively leading the charge in terms of the new Doctor Who. Yeah, and it really did feel like that, right? It felt like very modern, very on the cutting edge, very 2000s, right? It was, you could really imagine a 2000s production with these stories, right? And it really worked, right? It's what we all knew, that Doctor Who would always work, right? And because it was Doctor Who, it wasn't lecturing you like it is today, or has been for the last 5-10 years. Yes, it was years before the TV series came back. Well, 4. 4 or 5 years. It was the only thing that there was. we didn't know what would happen, and during what the fans are calling the wilderness years, it's so tragic that these this era has really been lost. It really is somewhat tragic about it. What we're up to. So didn't know what happened during the wilderness years. And there were more questions than answers because we were really uncertain. And of course, we're together and we heard the rumors, the rumors that began to solidify that a TV series would come back. And I was thinking, how am I going to get a phone call? Sadly not, right? Philip Seagull, was much nicer to Sylvester McCoy than Russell Lee Davies was to you, mate. All right? I mean, eventually, Stephen Moffat made it right with Night the Doctor. And to me, that's just an indication you're so still ready to play the role, right? Just really good in the role. Doctor Who Return to Heaven was announced in September 2003, but it would be another 18 months before we actually saw it back. The early days, yes. Yeah, again, she could have looked like the thumbnail, just would have been more work than I think she would be willing to put in. There we go. No, there we go. Doink. I remember getting an email from showrunner saying, thank you so much. It's been, if Adam and Charlie, then Rose Tyler would never been created. Okay, well, still nice. Says Inja with a rueful laugh. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. Do you want me to? Do you want to cast me then? Well, at least you had an email response, Paul. That's more contact than I've ever had with him, really. Never met him, never spoke to him, never an email from him. Well, I think he might sense you're not gay. That could be it, mate. That could be it. Why can't Russell Davies only cast gay people as gay roles or for anything? Because gay people are the only people that exist for Russell Davies. Everybody else is just some weird Gollum, cipher character. How then did Paul feel when he realized that after 9 years, the Eighth Doctor was no longer going to be the current Doctor? Was it strange to hear about the Eccleston casting? I was curious, he admits, and I thought, well, surely the tradition is a regeneration. No, you got screwed, mate. Paul filmed the TV movie with predecessor Sylvester McCoy, who was also invited to take part in the production. So that's the seventh Doctor you could formally regenerate into the eighth. I mean, the good thing is he wasn't there, and I understand why they didn't want to have a previous Doctor there, right? But it did give us the possibility for the War Doctor, which I think was really good. So yeah, I thought, okay, no one has called me yet, but maybe the phone will ring and ask me to come in and do a day on this thing. But no, he laughs. It's a proper sad actor thing, isn't it? Well, I think it's a reasonable expectation, right? Actors aren't working. When actors aren't working, they sit in the room looking out the window, waiting for the phone to ring. Well, yeah, I can understand that. So after a while, they were up and running TV series, and we carried on doing our thing. But then these other layers suddenly began to appear. We had our Big Finish world, and it was around the same time that I was being educated about the presence of the novels and the artwork stories. Yeah, look, sadly, New Adventures were way better than the Eighth Doctor Adventures. New Adventures were really into their groove. And again, that's another era that's basically being lost. So these different levels. So after the TV show came back with Chris Eccleston, they went on and carried on changing. But we stayed in our own world. Yeah, and again, your world way superior, frankly. Although interjects, you have had other women, haven't you? You've got off with other women. Well, yeah, you shouldn't kiss and tell. Well, don't say it like that, says Paul indignantly. That's the way it is, I'm afraid to say. Define hat. Since the early adventures of Charlie Pollard, the Eighth Doctor enjoyed stories with Mary Shelley. That's like 3 or 4 stories, right? Lucy Miller, that was good. Tasman True, that was the same. And Molly O'Sullivan, Ruth Blade, that's Dark Eyes. Yeah, the Eighth Doctor's been revamped a lot. Livchenko. Oh God, I can't stand that now. But it's not just Paul who's changed partner. Charlie sorted out the H Doctor for the Six. They weren't bad. That was quite a good little era in of itself, right? Let's have a look. If I do, will you get the? If I do the 8th Doctor, will I just get the? What's it called again? We'll do sort by oldest first, I should say. Yeah, it really misses out. So yeah, it misses out the Lucy Miller stuff. I mean the Charlotte Pollard stuff. So let's have a quick go through them quickly. Storm Warning, excellent. Sword of Orion. This was a really good audio that was written for Nicholas Briggs's Doctor when they did the fan productions, audio visual. Not as good. I mean, really fell quite a lot. They basically just needed the scripts quickly. Paul McGann was great, but yeah, sadly, it just kind of fell apart. Stoves of Venice, loved. Paul Maggs, oh God, loved that. This one. Really, 195, you should really, I'm telling you, 195, you should get that story. That's really worth it, right? That is really worth it. Minuet Hell is shit. Run screaming. This is Doctor Who doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer with bad American accents. It's really bad. Okay, so that was back. This was back in the era where they did like little groups of classic stories, where you had to wait for like next year before you got season 2. Man, there's great story. Blood Tide, fantastic. Project Twilight, and other. This was a great era. This was the highest quality era. I had the Scorpion. Man, I didn't like Aaron who they brought in. Colditz was another great story. Where are we up to? Primeval. Primeval's that was okay. Lance Parker. One Doctor was awesome. It was a fun story. Christopher Biggins. So now we're on to McGann's second season. Invaders of Mars. And Buck 95. It's so worth it. It's a really good one. China's at Midnight, all-time classic. Really is an all-time classic. Great Christmas story. Season of Fear. Another classic, right? They're just like knocking them out the park. Paul Cornell, douchebag, and great Doctor Who writer. Embrace of Darkness is it's kind of a filler story. Nicholas Biggs writes it. It's not stunning like the rest of them, but it's a solid little story, right? Time of the Daleks, you get this for free in Doctor Who magazine. Brilliant. Really clever story. And that's the promo. And then Neverland, which was like their big season finale that led into their huge season finale. The 30th anniversary Zagreus, which was kind of where his era fell apart. Okay, so now you got to wait through. Spare Parts was good-ish. I liked it. Most people didn't. Rapture I thought was really good as well. Man, this was just like Sandman, where the Doctor was the bad guy. This was just a great era. Church of the Crown, again, another Airman story, but Bang Bang a Boom, Doctor Who in the Eurovision Eurovision Song Contest in space. Jubilee, another all-time classic. I think this is the first Robert Shearman story. Necromantania, completely forgettable, right? I can't remember anything about it. Dark Flame, set in the Virgin Universe, and reasonably shit, as I recall. The Pirates is somewhat fun, but I'm just trying to get through the McGann stuff. Come on. Creature of Beauty. People hated it. I love this one. Completely told out of order. Project Lazarus, pretty good sequel to Project whatever. The favorite Flip Flop. Oh, is it Disc 50? Yeah. So you had these villain series. You had Omega, Master, and Davros. Davros, which led up to the big Master, which this was a weird one, that Master. Okay, which led up to Zagreus, which was their 50th story. It was their anniversary story, 40th anniversary story. Wasn't very good, frankly, right? Wasn't very good. And then, that's where. So then you got the Divergent Universe, which went on for way too long. Shazera is not bad as a experiment, but yeah, no, it's really off his ball now with Creed of Common. Natural History of Fear I actually liked a lot because it's a sideways step. Twilight Kingdom, and then it just went on forever. Then it was you got to go through a whole another year, and they just kind of putted out. That first 2 seasons though, that is prime Charlie. Okay. And then she goes off with the Sixth Doctor for a little bit, and those are pretty good stories as well. And actually, that's a nice thing to be able to come back to do these stories, slotting in. Back in the early days, I used to check the back of the script to make sure that Charlie still lived, because I felt there was a sort of sword of Damocles over my head. Well, that's fair enough. And now I realize you can never die in Doctor Who. We can all, you can die, but you can always come back. Well, Lucy Miller. Didn't that happen? Didn't they do extra stories with her? I think so. And they weren't that good, actually. So just again, the country. Let's return to the stuff of legend. This was a bit different, was it? This was a bit different, isn't it? The pair feel nervous. As are the pair nervous after they haven't performed in front of an audience yet? No, we haven't agreed, Paul, and we're kind of we're going to find out, aren't we, this weekend? Oh, I think they're probably going to be very good, right? I think they are going to be very good. They got 23 years of chemistry, and they had perfect chemistry in the first day. It's exciting, Grizz, isn't it? It's exciting, but cautious, Paul. Well, we shouldn't be confident because there are. We should be confident because there are people anyway. Yeah, exactly. They want it to be good. They want you to do well. I just wish you had an 8th Doctor console. That would have made me so much happier. And I had no expectation to have a console at all, right? But it would have made me so much happier. No, on the side, no question. That's true. Yeah, it couldn't be a nicer audience, could it? Absolutely. In a way, it's almost like playing to family. Again, get the documentary Who and I, where you have him being interviewed by Matthew Jacobs, the guy who wrote this TV movie, talking about fandom, and I think a very, very, really beautiful way. God bless him. If I absolutely no way. It's almost like playing family. If I wasn't in it, I'd probably like to go and watch. Me too, to see how it's done. That's the thing. Nods India. It's slightly peeking behind the curtain to see how Big Finish story is created. But no, again, it creates an intimate one-to-one event, right? And hopefully it will be enjoyable live spectacle as well. Not just watching it, but I think it'll be great for us too. Getting to see live Foley artists and all that. Look, if they not Big Finish, Red Dwarf is back. They're making it again, right? The Doug Naylor version. But we're talking about Red Dwarf going to audio. This is the only way it would work. But they did like a live readings, right? And kind of in costume. I think that's the only way it would really work, frankly. And what's the name? Robert Llewellyn would have to put on the rubber mask, sadly. I do like the way they're making it get fatter as time goes on. Well, I don't think they have a choice. Do it. It just says a door open, and we go straight past that as we never hear any sound effects. We've actually had hilarious moments with this. Someone was kicking in the door, and then the sound just went. And you think, oh, maybe it's not kicking in, but it's lovely to have all that. Exactly. I remember when I was young, we went, well, actually not that young. It was one of the last pattern ones I went to see. It was in the mid-'80s, maybe the late 80s. Had Derek Griffiths as the villain, right? Who was brilliant. I mean, but there was like, he did the trick with fire. He put his fingers, and everyone's laughing. Oh, you love it when it goes wrong, don't you? And we do. I remember years ago they did the Goon Show, and I think that was a great example of live radio. Says Paul. It looked like it was a hoot. So I think we should have a good time. Yeah, that's the impression I got. And the space is fantastic in Cagogan Hall. It sounds great. It looks beautiful. It's a beautiful look at. Yes, it's a brilliant story as well. Infuses India. It's a proper exciting romp. Yes, a romp, right? And that it's delivering what the audience want. Oh, not dumbed down queer stories, right? It's a proper exciting romp. I would say there's lots of bits in me go, come on. Sometimes our stories can go off-piste and weird, but in a good way. And this is definitely all guns blazing. It's what you want from Doctor Who, fighting the Daleks and the Master. All right. I think the Alex McQueen Master is a really good master to choose for this. What are we up to? And the hope is there are times when the audience will be asked to get involved, adds Paul. All 4 performances over the weekend are being recorded, so if you're part of the audience, you'll be part of it. You might have something to do. It's going to be you're going to be in it too. Again, it's fun. Big Finish is planning to release a live version of Suffer Legend imminently, but the original studio version is available to buy. We recorded it in a studio before the summer, didn't we? Says India. I didn't know until after that was going to be a story that we're going to do a live performance. Did you know when you're recording? Yes, apparently Paul did. No one bothered to tell me. I guess it was pretty helpful having performed the story first. It was a need to know basis. Oh well, I'm obviously not that pay grade. Chuckles India. No, darling, you're not right. Paul McGann gets booked up. But it was interesting to see how different it feels when you shove a live audience in front of it. I think it's going to explode and explode in a good way. Yes. Paul has a question though, which he's keen to get off his chest. Okay, India Fisher, why is it only me in costume and not you? Well, look, again, many years have gone by, mate. I feel like a right setter. You're awesome being in costume. I'm sorry. That just shows you're off the awesome scale by being in costume. Oh no, I want to be civilized. Are you anyone getting in fancy dress? Well, I asked about it actually. I said, are we going to be in costume? Because I am perfectly happy to do the angels costumes. But I get myself a nicer. I was very happy to go to the Angels costume and get myself a nice Edwardian outfit. But Barnaby said it might sound a bit rusty on the microphone, and that's the only problem. So I'm wearing what's known as audio casual. Audio casual. Come back at you again. You look a bit like his man. So look at this. It's many years have intervened. Although she looks way better there. Blimey. Okay. I wish Alex McQueen was in costume. That I would have liked. Of the list of dress codes, the first I've ever heard of audio casual. How does Paul feel about his own costume? The version he's wearing for the show, he shows up designed for the 2013 mini drama rather than the original Wild Bill Hiccup get up. 26. Yes, there are some modification, he admits. Yeah, time rolls on for all of us. Well, did you have a picture of the cover? 1 second. Not there. Here. Maybe it's over here. Came out like a month ago, I believe. I'm intrigued to see how they think Alex McQueen's master looks. Oh, he just wears a suit. It's a bit dull. Yeah, I like the anti-alien one. I think that was awesome. Fine, where we are. Doink. It's a variation of theme, as it says in here. And you look awfully good in it. Yes, you do, Paul. Yeah, but it's all canonized. It's all proper. He laughs. We know full well how such things matter. I like the Dark Eyes outfit you're wearing as well, but I don't know what it's going to be like to wear it all day. I'll find out soon, won't I? Nowadays, I tend to wear boots. I wear that. I tend to wear it for photo shoots. Didn't a fan have it made for him especially, or something like that? Oh, people want to see the Doctor in costume. Reasons in it. Yes, they do. Again, I think it's wonderful that you did it. We'll see how well. I mean, you can't get Judy Gatwa in costume when he's actually on TV. He doesn't have a costume, and it's going to be worse in season 2. There's going to be lots of wearing skirts and stuff or whatever weird shit he's into. Back in 1990, he had to wear a wig for the TV movie, and his real hair had been cut short, so we're assuming that's not something he's keen to read. No wiggy affirms, although I did ask Jason Ellery about that, actually. And he did that thing he does. He defocus a bit, and then he just start talking about something else. Why don't you just say no? What about Charlotte Pollard? India might be in full Edwardian, but she's still playing Charlie as a young woman in her 20s. Well, that's certainly how I depict her. Alex McQueen. I love his master. Well, yes, she says. Earlier when we want to announce who we were playing, I said I played Charlie Pollard, who is ageless, but and she is a bit. I always think Charlie's about 18 or 19, but thank God it's audio. That's all I can say. Except, look, again, India, darling. Look. Fandom has your back. I just want to reiterate this. I got your back, honey, okay? This is Charlotte Pollard. Totally works for me, right? This one's a bit better. Yeah, we'll have... and you didn't have to do all the work to diet. You just look good, darling. You just look good. There you are in context. Just looks good, honey. Just looks good. We got your back, mate. Got your back. Oh, God. Panda will be another exclusive drag queen story out. God, you're so right. God help us. Yeah, I wanted to do the article about Happiness Patrol. Maybe we'll do that on Sunday. On Tuesday. What day is it? It's Sunday. Yeah, maybe we'll do that on Tuesday. Share screen. Doink. Because that had to have a drag queen in. Like, why has everything got a drag queen? This time people are going to be middle-aged women sat there playing Charlotte Pollard. Nonsense, gospel. It might be quite nice in some ways to go and have an alter ego who doesn't age, kind of like Dorian Gray. I know exactly Beam's India. Before that, although, does that mean that I'm in the picture in the attic? I'm afraid so. Oh no, I'm withering in front of your eyes as Charlie remains ageless. That's the drawback of agelessness, darling. Even though it's coming up to 30 years since Paul McGann first played the Eighth Doctor, he still very much looks the part. He really does. Look him on the cover of this very issue. He could do it on TV Day. Please, I really would. Rusty Davis, we know you're reading. Give this man his own miniseries. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Rusty Davis has anything to give anyone right now. But I know he's never had a full series on television. We did get extra glimpse of the Eighth Doctor on our screen and Jodie Whittaker's Power of the Doctor. Yeah, well, they finally worked out how to do Jodie Whittaker by not having Jodie Whittaker on screen as much as possible. And then it all kind of came together and worked now, didn't it? Yes, it was about 10 seconds, Grim Paul. Were you asked? Yeah, I was. Paul Proudly says Paul Proudly. I finally got onto it. It was finally in an episode on TV. Well done. Were you in full guard? Yes, I was in. It was in a kit. That's basically where we got tapped from. Did he have a wig? No, it was a full costume though, and it wasn't a robe. Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and David Bradley all appeared in the same scene, and they asked Tom Baker. He told them to fuck off. But their doctors are the Guardians of the Edge, and they were all, as they were called, and they're all wearing Time Lord robes rather than their traditional outfits. Yeah, and McCoy says, why haven't you got a robe on? He says, I don't do robes. And that's the end of the conversation. Yeah. Although it was totally stolen from Paul Cornell's timeline. What, Time Wirren Apocalypse, maybe? I got a time in the last of the Time Wirren novels. You're a maverick. Well, that is true. Again, well, that's kind of like the Eighth Doctor for you. The conversation could have carried on, though. McCoy could have gone, but why? We could have had a proper chat about it. But yeah, I was out there in the proper Doctor Who outfit, and they're all looking like Demi Roussos. Okay. Then again, some of their outfits might have been a bit distracting, points out India. Collins, for example. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Perry's would be way more distracting, right? I thought I wouldn't even look at Collins' Doctor if Perry was there, that season 23, especially the two Doctors costume. Oy vey! 2 Doctors or Vengeance and Varys, I'll take it either. I prefer 2 Doctors. I'll probably end up with what's the name when the Attack of the Cybermen when she's got put some more clothes on. Yeah, Paul agrees, Paul, but they made Colin a suit for his Imperious time Tales of the TARDIS, and he really chuffed with it. I can see why, because it actually looked pretty decent, right? Just annoys me how stupid they were revealing that memory TARDIS like a year earlier, however long, like months and months early. Completely destroyed it from when it was on screen for the first time. It's Paul relieved that he never had to wear Colin's original costume, Doctor Who outfit. Well, I can see why. There might come a time, he grins. You don't know. Oh, Big Finish, but don't make him do that. Don't make him do that. If you're wondering how the Doctors got on when they were recording that scene, then wonder no more. They weren't all in the same room. There was a rumor, which I sort of believed, that because of availability, Paul McGann's body was played by one person, his head by somebody else, and they kind of mapped it on. And I totally believed it, right? But no, nonsense. Yeah, they weren't. They weren't in the same room at all. I was quite disappointed, actually, admits Paul. I was looking forward to meeting Jodie Whittaker. No. Are you out of your mind? You've dodged a bullet, sir. Oh, God. I mean, what? Do you have too much intelligence and sanity in your life, right? And you want to calm all that down? Because meeting Jodie Whittaker will totally do that. Didn't you know? She was shit. She was a shit Doctor. Oh, even Jodie Whittaker is disappointed she's met Jodie Whittaker. No, I did my lines on a bit of gaffer tape on the screen. Oh no, so Teddy can be so annoying, can't it? I know, it's somewhat soulless as well. Yeah, a little bit. I thought, oh, she'll be here, and I'll finally meet her. But Janet Fielding was there, okay, and she was the only one. So at least I had a mate there to talk to. I guess they filmed her bits there, or some of them. I don't know. Played Tegan, Power of the Doctor. It was Paul's agent, right? Who tried to talk him out of doing Doctor Who. She was my agent when I first got offered the job. Yes, but weirdly, I've only ever known her as an agent. Again, there's so much promise. I mean, I was going to say never realized, but realized on audio, right? Known her then, and I hadn't watched a Doctor Who in the 80s, so I never knew. So we never had the conversation. It never occurred to me that that's what you did in another life. That's weird, isn't it? She should not say to you, by the way, I love that. Like, why wouldn't you bring that up in conversation? When I was off Doctor Who, she was the one who did the deal, and she didn't want to do it. I bet she did a good deal, probably, yeah, grins Paul. And then we went to Canada to shoot, and she came over too. Really, must have been money there. And it wasn't until we were in Vancouver in the first 24 hours that I realized is that because everyone was going, oh my God, it's Tegan. Well, it's so weird. I like that, but then she told me like, what? Who's Tegan? Well, it was actually because of all the kid in the street says Paul. It was the night shoots, of course, and there was one moving in January. It was me and McCoy and Daphne Asbrook who played Dr. Grace Holloway, Dr. Grace Holloway, and Janet with us. And there was some kid who could have only been 20, 21. And he comes over us and say, "What are you doing?" And he's talking to me and he's looking over my shoulder at Janet. And I remember we all had hoods on, it was freezing. Janet had a Parker on, but he still twigged and he did that thing that that I would see 1,000 times repeated. He told her everything she's ever done in order. That's got me so creepy. And when she left, Janet looked at me and said, "Do you see now?" This must be what she tried to talk about it. Paul laughs at the memory, transported back to a cold January as if it were yesterday. There are some great ancillary movies that get that was when the direct-to-video thing was really hot, right? And they had Sylvester McCoy's video diary, like Bidding Adieu, I think that was called. And a few things of like them just shooting their own making of it, right? That was the same night that Daphne Asbrook got Doctor Who education, he recalls. We were sat there in these chairs in the first night, and then she turns to Sylvester McCoy and she says, "Can I ask you something?" Okay. I said, "Of course, anything." And he says, "What is this?" What do you say? Man, first you say this is a part of British culture, right? This is part of the British television culture. It's a very unique hero. It's a dashing, or it's an adventurer, right? Devil-may-care adventurer. It goes anywhere in time and space. It's deeply moral. Doesn't carry a gun. It is a bit has plenty of character flaws, which I think make him more interesting. Like he's kind of vain and arrogant. And they just have like good, crazy adventures anywhere in time and space. As you can see by what's going on here. Never seen it, never heard of it. She just got the gig, McCoy says. Are you serious? He spent the next 3 nights fiddling around Doctor Who history. He did, bless him. Oh, man, I would have loved to have heard that. That would have been a great release. Because he kept coming back to when we were all there. And he told her the entire story of the whole 30 years. It was, much easier than it was now. And now Daphne is the biggest Doctor Who fan as well. That's very nice. Right? It's always sad that she can never play Grace Holloway again. So they must have pulled someone out from the audience to conjure up a Dalek army. Again, this sounds fun. Oh, they should do more of this. Yeah. Sorry, this is it. Yeah. So I heard the rumor that this was somebody else's body and his head, right? He looks good in that costume, though. I mean, it really does. At time when Paul and India is drawing to a close, Barney is keen to get them back to rehearsals. Before we go, we want to talk about kissing. Well, okay then. These Doctor might have enjoyed a bit of a snog Grace Holloway, but it was Charlie Pollard. There were always hints of a proper romance. Caesarea, right? There was, and this was long before Rose Tyler or River Song. I kind of ignored it myself. Well, everyone always mentions this, but I never took it that way in Mitzinger. When we got upset, people got upset during Scherzo. Is that how you pronounce it? Where we were meant to kiss in that one, but actually we melded into one, and everybody got very upset. And now, of course, the Doctor is snogging all over the shop, and it's shit. I'm sorry, it's shit because of that, right? That's because David Tennant says Paul, and the David Cassidy of the Time Lords. He likes to gets about a bit. But for me, Charlie's love for the Doctor is complicated. Continues in it. He is her everything. She was 18 when she stowed away, and the Doctor is her family and a love interest. Yeah, it's complicated, and she has what she has from the Doctor with Charlie is a bit platonic. That will be a great story. Because I realize they never really wrapped up India Fisher's Charlie's story. One second. Let's go to cast. India Fisher. Let's do it from recent release first. So yeah, I like that head India Fish and both the Sixth Doctor and Eighth Doctor, Sontaras versus Russos. That's quite a good set. I can't stand the Audacity stuff. Oh god, oh Doomsday. Oh god, it's so bad. The Further Adventures of it wasn't very good. The Further Adventuress, yeah, that was okay. But now I'm trying to get to the last part in her ongoing story, which was all these were. That's when she came back years later. Chimes of Midnight. I never did the Charlie Pollard series. I'm just trying to find the her last one, but like her last one in the ongoing chronology. It was I thought, wasn't it Blue Forgotten Planet? Yeah, and then Return of the Crotons was a flashback one. I can't remember what happened to her. I think she went off with the Viridians, right? But it'd be great to have her like current age, right? And she's getting married, right? Maybe it's the second marriage, maybe it's a third marriage, right? And Paul McGann's Doctor gets the message, right? And that'll be you get to have that character reach its completion, right? That's what they should have done instead of Further Adventures. Let's see what she's like later in life, right? And maybe it's you could do something similar with Joe Grant, that the love that she had for the Doctor was really transposed with the love of her lover. Eventually, they did the same thing with post Doctor stories with Nyssa. With Charlie, it's got to be platonic incestuals. Yes, it is. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The Doctor cannot be a love interest. It's impossible. Oh God, you're so right, Paul. India, you're so right. I think that's a rule. That a rule you don't break, and if you do, you break Doctor Who, as we see. Insists Paul, and perhaps ironic for the man who enjoyed the Doctor's first on-screen kiss. I think if that happened, Doctor Who would lose one of its greatest advantages, and he can't go back after that. That's why I think they need to reboot, right? I really do. I think they need to reboot. Wow, we went into that in far more detail. That again, this event seemed fabulous, right? I can't. Let me see if anybody posted on YouTube stuff of legend. 1 second. Doctor Who stuff of legend. I'm surprised they didn't. No. There's maybe they had people stow their phones in it. I would have absolutely loved to have gone with this. Right. And no was I haven't seen anybody post any footage. So again, I'm only hoping they're going to be releasing a video version, a live video version. I think that would be fantastic, right? I think it would be absolutely fantastic. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.